Today we're going to be looking at the new Wild Hunt deck. A couple changes. They changed Eridan to a 7. They changed Red Riders slightly, so the option that used to be 4 Frost on 1 row is now Frost for 2 rows and replay a Bronze Wild Hunt. So you can get that Frost to 4 again if you play the crew. And they also changed the Wild Hunt Bruiser and the Warrior and Navigator. So Navigator now boosts by the duration of Frost in the opposite row, and Dominance is total Frost. And then the Warrior they changed to damage 2 and spawn Frost for 1 turn. This one's really interesting because it does 4 damage essentially if the unit that you damage is also the one that's going to hit by Frost. That's pretty interesting. And overall, I think that's quite a bit better. And the one thing that we really do need to mention here is the change to Winter Queen. So Devotion is now, instead of Thrive, once both players have passed, boost self by 2 for each turn of Frost remaining, so you don't waste the extra Frost turns anymore if you have her, which is actually really good. So overall, deck got quite a bit of boost. We're not going to go too much in detail here. Just going to mention we're running Imlerith because I want to run Imlerith. You don't have to run him. You don't have very many good discard cards for him, although the Conqueror is always good. And then I'm running the Golyat as a 7, since I have Imlerith and him at 16. You could swap those out for a 10 and a 6, or a 2 8s. Potentially, you can go with Nithral and Toad Prince, both very good cards. And then you could also go with the Old Spear Tip Asleep, since we do have Old Spear Tip. I just couldn't find space for him. And then you could also add in a 10 if you want instead. This is the problem I had here. None of these really wanted to go well in the deck. You could do Yigrin, but it's not fantastic. Although it would be alright. But yeah, these Imlerith and Golyat spots are pretty flexible. You could also gain provisions by removing these guys down here. But I think all the bronzes are actually really good. And let's get into the games here. Alright, so I expect to face a fair amount of mirror matches here. New patch and all, and this is probably going to be pretty popular. Don't like that matchup, but that's what Imlerith's in here for, really. Having the option to do the destroy instead of needing the tallest unit. Pretty handy. Like I said, probably going to face a lot of these today. Imlerith and Golyat are pretty handy in the mirror. So let's see what we've got. Going second. Well, that's not too bad overall. We're not going to have Dominance because he's got Tactical Advantage. Oh, he's got Crystal Skull instead. So he's going to be running the Hounds. We're not running the Hounds. We want more of a control approach with the new Warrior. You could swap them out for Hounds if you like the engine stuff better. This replay is just going to be on a Bruiser. Alright, so what we'll do is try and whittle him down with Frost and see if we can't use the Warrior. But the Warrior I quite like because if you're going second in a later round and they play a 4-point engine, this would actually kill it, which is pretty handy. Yeah, the Crystal Skull usually signifies they're playing the Hound, otherwise you just run Tactical Advantage like we are. Alright, let's see. Do we want to just start going with Frosts? I think we do. We could go for this for the guarantee here. It's probably worth doing that. If we don't do this now, he's going to get the Crystal Skull on something and we'll have to wait around to play it for the Dominance. So we'll just do it now. I do lose it on a point, potentially. And that's exactly what we're going to do as well. Now, this is where running Toad Prince is a bit handy. You could Toad Prince this guy in particular. He might do that. We'll see what he's doing. We do the advantage going second, though, which is nice. Yeah, expect a lot of mirror matches if you want to play Frost. It got changed, and it was fairly popular before, even if it wasn't super strong. I don't think it's amazing now, by the way. This was a nice change, but overall it's probably not getting much better. Like, it's better, but not crazy better. See, so we take a look here. What do we want to do? We don't have our engine card to play like he does. So I think we'll just settle here. We don't want to play something melee because he gets Frost. We'll just play a Conqueror. He's going to play a Frost card. This might be Red Riders, actually. Any Red Riders going to replay these guys? There's the Toad Prince we mentioned. Now that does give us the option of pulling for Ardgeith. I think we will. It means he can't pass yet, which is good for us. Maybe we can force something out here. Because if he passes, the new devotion effect will take effect. And then we'll boost by 8. Okay, he's going to go for his own Winter Queen here. He's played more golds than us so far. It's not a big difference. He's played a Toad Prince. We've played, well, other than that, everything's the same. There's the Nithral. This is another card you could play in the deck. But Nithral gone. Got his Winter Queen. He's going to win the round, but he's down 2 8 provision cards. We're not down. So that's pretty nice for us. Not too bad. Do still have our Old Spirit Tip. Now is where he plays a card first. That's a 4 provision card, like the Hound. We can go with the Warrior. I think he's running the Hound, so I will keep a Warrior because of that. Let's see here. The question is, do we want to go with the Red Riders? If you... The things we're missing really are our Imlerith and our Conqueror, which are really big cards. We do want to redraw for those. Let's put this back. And our Aridin, of course. We'll put this back anyway, even though I said it could be handy, so we really need those other cards. We also haven't seen a Foglet down. He's also down a leader charge, right? So he's down 1 leader charge and 2 8 provision gold cards compared to us. But it's kind of irrelevant if he has better cards than we do. I think we match here, or we go crew. If we go crew, you could use the order and kill it, but then this doesn't boost. And then we can go with this with a boost on it. Let's open with the crew.
Are you cold, human insect? It won't be long now.
We do want dominance because we have an Aridin here. We also do want to play our Phantom. This way he gets boosted out of Parasite range right away. In case he has it. I don't think he played Ardgeith though, so he's got 2 Ardgeith charges. He used 1 this round, 1 next round. The thing is, in a short round, you need the Winter Queen for it to be okay. Otherwise, you can still get the Frost expiration. Like the extra Frost won't do anything unless you have the Winter Queen. You mentioned the Ardgeith. There it is. We'll play our own Phantom. One thing I do want to mention here is I was very disappointed to see that the effect of the Winter Queen was Devotion for the Frost. I'm not saying it's bad. Once I saw that change, I really wanted to use Vader Maker and make the Frost extra long. But, yeah, that's not going to happen. Okay, there's his Bruiser here. Now, we have 2 options. We can go with our own Ardgeith, which will mean we won't have it for the long round coming up. Or we can go with one of our other cards. We do want to keep this guy alive. And this one alive too. So we want to play something in this guy's row. We could always go with a leader charge and a ancient Foglet. I'm not the biggest fan of that one. But I think it might be our best choice here. We're probably not going to get a card advantage here. That's alright in the end. This does mean our Ardgeith's a little bit worse because we move something to the range row, but I don't want him using that 3 damage to kill our Foglet. So you might have some way to do that. 3 is not very much. You might have one of the 4 damage cards. If he uses it now, there's a 50% chance that it hits the crew, and well, not the crew. It'll still get it right here. But we don't really want this 3 damage. And if we're going to play the Foglet to get its value, we do need to play it earlier. There's his own Foglet. So, Foglet out. We could Gills our Red Riders. And replay our crew. That's not bad. We also Naglfar out our Imlerith or our Conqueror. Then stack our deck. That's really what I'd prefer to do. So let's go Ardgeith. And we have our Bruiser, and hopefully we can get to our Naglfar. I do want to wait a little bit to not play the Golyat, so I think we'll wait till later to finish with the... Okay, what's he doing? He's replaying the Bruiser. Makes sense. Kills that guy. Let's see here. For our own Bruiser. Now we can hopefully protect our Phantom a little bit. Now his Phantom's in danger. He will pass here. And we do get a card advantage, which is nice. We didn't get to play our Naglfar to stack our deck, but our hand is still pretty strong. Do have a card advantage. He played 2 big gold cards earlier. This was a pretty even exchange of a round. We did use our last leader charge. There's Conqueror and Golyat. So we draw Imlerith here with our Naglfar. The thing is, we don't actually have a bronze for this Red Riders. Foglet's the card we're looking for here. We go first. I think we open Imlerith. I don't see why we wouldn't. Conqueror, we probably want to wait till we play something for, even though we do lose 1 turn of boost. So let's go Gels here. Play our Imlerith with this Naglfar. We do get both rows here for his Ardgeith. But Gales is pretty weak, and he'll move him to those rows. Anyway, now we discard this Golyat. That's pretty good. Let's see what he's got. Now we've established dominance. If he goes for Imlerith, we can Wrath it so it doesn't happen. If he goes for any of his big cards, we can do that. And we can just kind of have a big removal set up here with Imlerith's Wrath. We knew he would do that. Question is, what do we go with now? I think we just go Oberon Conqueror, although we could just throw our old Spear Tip. Let's just throw our old Spear Tip here. Just make our dominance more assured. Yeah, we knew that was going to happen here. Let's see what he has. We want to put Frost down for Oberon Conqueror and the Foglet for sure. I think I want to go Foglet next. There's Zone Conqueror. There's a Bruiser. So lose a little bit of Frost value there. Alright, so we do have Imlerith's Wrath as a play, but I want to get engines going first, so I think what we do here... I think we go for the Foglet. Go with the Foglet. Now, we do have our own Oberon Conqueror coming up in the Bruiser, so we have a lot of movement available, and we have our Eridan, if you want to get going. There's his Eridan. Now, we have the Dominance here, which is handy. So let's go Oberon here. We go Oberon Melee, because that way we get the boosts. So we have Conqueror is not a bad choice. We have Bruiser. We have Crew. Crew will boost for four turns. Plus give us Frost. That's pretty nice. And then we've got... Yeah, I like Crew here. Hopefully we can remove his dominance. Then we have our own Eridan we'll play next. Imlerith's Wrath we could kill his Eridan with as well, but we got that Frost out. We can destroy that. I guess we don't have to worry about the dominance for Imlerith's Wrath as long as Imlerith is still here. So this turn we will be going with our Eridan. Very nice. We're going to Imlerith's Wrath this next. And then we'll go for the Bruiser, I think. To consume our Golyat. Let's see here. We can destroy that, and then we have dominance. I like that choice. Bruiser's not going to do the 2 damage, but he couldn't anyway, because we'd have to move this defender with armor. So we have a 28-point lead, which is pretty big. That's an interesting tech card. That'll be a GG here for our first game. Very nice. That came down to him playing those 2 golds round 1, I think. Because if he didn't have that, if he had those 8 provision golds like Toad Prince in that round, he would have been much better off. But we ended up with a stronger hand round 3. Game 2. Okay, 1 mirror match is good enough. I think we can try and find some other opponents here. Although, like I said, I think we're just going to be playing mirror matches today. Might make for a little bit more boring of a video, but it's probably what you'll see. He does have the Crystal Skull again. I think I like Tactical Advantage better. The only thing you really would put it on is Ancient Foglet, and it already has Veil. So usually I think this means they're playing Hound, or they didn't change their stratagem and like forgot. Anyway, though, this hand is short of engine cards other than this Foglet. We want to try this guy out, I think, but it's pretty difficult unless if he uses his thing right away. So let's try and find our riders. No riders. See, why wouldn't you use Tactical Advantage if this is what you're going to be doing? That's my question. Now, as far as what we're going to do here, we don't have to commit very much. But if we go Phantom, it gives us something. The thing is here, we don't want to be playing too much. Like, we want Frost for the Bruiser to be played, and then we need the Frost for the Bruiser, but we don't want to be playing the Frost with this, and we want to play Frost with this, so I think we'll just go with the Phantom here. A little bit higher provision of a commitment. But I think without it, we don't have a great starting play here. Yeah, without that, we don't have a great starting play. We could have just gone for Onel Conqueror, but I want something to actually put a little bit of threat on. Oh, interesting. He's actually playing the Adastriga. That is a choice you can play in the 7 provision slot instead of the Golyat here. Did think about that one. As far as thinking about the Golyat, we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s. 5 cards for Naglfar. So I think what we want to do here is either play a Frost card or our Conqueror. We could try and push with a leader charge, but that won't be super awesome. Let's just play the Foglet here and move this. The leader charge and Foglet's a fairly large commitment. We have got a setup now for Ardgaith to do a big boost. If he's got Parasite, he'll play it here. He's already used 1 control card in Striga, so I'm guessing he's not actually playing. He's playing more of a control deck. He might actually have that Parasite, although most people aren't really running it anymore. With new patch, though, you never know. There's Eridan. We got Eridan out of him. That's pretty big. We could go for Ardgaith and try and force the issue. I don't mind that at all, actually. That sounds pretty good. Mustar Foglet, we'll get our Winter Queen. Take away his dominance. See what he does. We do have Red Riders, too. You know, there's the Toad Prince. We figured that was coming. Now, we could go for Red Riders for 4. We could also go with our own Imlerith to match his. And then we have the dominance. I think we'll do this. We have dominance here, and if he passes, we get 10 on Winter Queen. So he should be in a pretty rough spot. This Foglet's going to get a lot of value. He's going to move our Foglet. He's going for his own Winter Queen, that's my guess. Red Riders, probably. Or his own Ardgaith. Yep. Still, we have dominance here, so we have an advantage. I think we want to keep pushing. We could move our... We could use Bruiser to move something. If we move Aridin, there's a chance it gets hit by Frost, and we can use the Red Riders to move it again. That's pretty interesting. We could also just go for more turns here on Red Riders. Or just 2 on each row, and I think we will do that. This is a bigger dominance. And I think that's a little bit more threatening. We can use Bruiser to kill his queen now. That way he won't get any boosts from it. Having dominance this whole time will give us a lot of point advantages. I think we do want to move his Winter Queen. It's unfortunate we moved it out of this range row, because now the Frost won't do anything there. So he's going to replay the Bruiser and kill our Winter Queen. But we're still the ones with dominance. If we could move from the ranged row, if we could move something here, that'd be really good, because we could actually kill his Aridin that way. We might go for the Naglfar here. Gills is good on Red Riders here, because we have the Bruiser alive still. And then Imlerith's good here, and Wrath's okay. So I think we'll go for it. Gills is definitely the card we want. Play him. Then Red Riders is what we want in this case, so we'll play that. We want the 2 turns in the move. Or replay, I mean. We'll put that on this row because it's got more units in it. We'll play this guy. And we will move here. We could move the Aridin to make it die. And I like that. Means we don't have to worry about the dominance anymore. It doesn't get us... We're like a point short here. But as soon as it dies, we don't have to worry about the dominance being a factor. He's going for his own Bruiser here. The thing is, we have these really big final plays here that I don't think he can match. And we will have maintained dominance this whole time. Which I think will be what gives us the win if we get it. In this round, I mean. If we can go to a short round 2, maybe finish with Golyat, old Spear Tip, that'd be really nice. Okay, so it's tie for dominance here. We can make that tie go away pretty quickly just with this guy. If he has another Bruiser, we might actually lose our Foglet here. This might be for Conqueror to kill the Foglet. Fairy Phantom to kill the Foglet. No, he wants the dominance. Interesting, because that doesn't give it to him. I guess he just wanted to get ahead here. I think it's a pretty safe Golyat turn, honestly. I think it's a pretty decent Golyat turn here. Get that dominance back. You do have old Spear Tip if we need it, but I think he might pass. Obviously, his last card will get him there. The question is, does he want to play it? No, we just get the pass. Very nice win on even there. Playing Ancient Foglet earlier certainly helped out. Okay, so here's the thing. Neither of us have Winter Queen anymore. The question is, do we want to go for a short round? If we want to go for a short round... Okay, we definitely do, because we have the Wild Hunt Rider. Yeah, we definitely want to go for it with the Wild Hunt Rider. We're going to at least play that. Imlerith is a card... Imlerith and Imlerith's Wrath are cards we're missing. We definitely want to play the Riders, though, so I think we'll finish our drawing here. And we're just going to play this and see what he does. This is very non-committal, because he knows he'll play this if we're holding it, and he doesn't know if we're going to push or not. And it's a fair amount of points. He goes for the Ozrel. How much do we want to commit here? Because we could Ardgaith. I think we will. It'll lose value later on. This is not really a card we want round 3. There's the Hound. Do we want to go with Invader or Spear Tip? Spear Tip gives us dominance. So I think we'll go with Spear Tip here first. And then we'll just move one of these guys to the row. We're committing a lot here. But I don't think he's going to have a lot to play with us because this Hound isn't really good. And he hasn't played his Ardgaith yet, and I think it's in his hand. At this point, he only plays for 4. If he kept it. He might have put it back in his deck knowing he had gills. It's the Bruiser. We do have more Frost than him, so this Frost doesn't do anything. I think we go with our own Conqueror here. Conqueror is good. How much is the Navigator worth? It's worth 8. This plays for more, actually. So we have the Dominance, right? We have the Dominance, and this boosts. So this will boost by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's better. Navigator. There we go. Let's see what he's got. He needs 13. Don't think he has it, but we'll find out. This could also be Ardgaith still, in which case we had a free win. And that's what I thought it was. But GG. Yeah, going into a second round where you lost the first one, keeping Ardgaith is really risky. Honestly, I thought he would have put it back. I would have put it back there, honestly. It's something that's super dangerous. If you don't play it right away, and when the opponent plays something round 2, in a short round like that, you're in real big danger. So, kind of figured that's what he's holding on to. Another one. Third mirror match, guys. This is just going to be the White Frost mirror match day today. That's all you're going to see. Okay, so we got 2 Riders. Oops, I meant to click on the Riders. Whatever, we can put a Bruiser back too. Double Foglet's interesting. We're going first, right? So this Foglet with Tactical Advantage should secure the round for free, which I do like. We can probably get some value from this Warrior. And other than that, this hand's pretty good, actually. We will redraw one of these guys. Probably the Bruiser, because we don't have Ardgaith. We could pull it out, though. Crew. Alright, so that's what we're going to do. We're just going to go Foglet, Tactical Advantage, and win the round. First, though, we will play these guys. Naturally, he would do that. I didn't want to play the Advantage, although it would deny him the Dominance there. I want to say that for the Foglet. Now, this forces him to have big removal, or just to concede the round, because this Foglet will get so much value. And now we will go with this Warrior for his effect. If he goes for a Hound, we can kill it, potentially, if he plays it melee, which he won't. I said he wouldn't, but this is a crew melee, and now we get the value of this Warrior, so we'll play him here. He will do this 2 damage. That 1 turn of Frost will kill off the crew, and that's really good value from him. Just like that. Do note he plays a lot like Aridin, where he puts the Frost out in crew. They put the Frost out, and then they do their effect. Okay, he's melee locked, so we could just Bruiser it. We could Leader it. Bruiser doesn't get its full value here, which is a little bit annoying. But denying him is worth it, so we'll just play the Bruiser. Denying Nithral's stuff is really good. By the way, this is one of the main reasons we're running Imlerith and Golyat over Nithral Toad Prince, is because Nithral is so vulnerable to the mirror match. It's just so bad in the mirror, because everything moves. That's why. It's like one of the big reasons. Okay, we do have our own Ancient Foglet. He played something. As you can tell, he did play a card. Let's play Gels here. Now we could Ardgaith, or we can go with Riders. We're going to Ardgaith here. Then we will Leader Charge to move his Foglet. We both use a Leader Charge now. Pretty even. We should have this round pretty convincingly. He still has Winter Queen, which will force out round 2 if he keeps going here. Now he's just going to go for it. That makes sense. We could Imlerith Wrath down this Foglet. probably has better targets later. So don't really want to. The thing is, their options here are either second Foglet, which doesn't get a lot of value, Aridin, which we definitely want to keep, and Imlerith we don't want to discard these cards with. We might just go Phantom. I like Phantom. Let's do that. We can kill that potentially now. Toad Prince will kill our Winter Queen. His still lives. Okay, he's going to stop us from killing his. Interesting. We do lose our dominance here. We could do 8 with Imlerith's Wrath. He used his second leader. So we could use our second leader and Imlerith's Wrath to kill the Foglet. It's kind of an interesting situation. Aridin gives us dominance back, though. Aridin's really good in the short round. I think we'll go with second Foglet here. We'll go second Foglet. And just second Foglet. If he passes, he gets 10. So I think we do have to move something and get a couple more points with this. Otherwise, when he passes, the Winter Queen gives him too many points. There's his Aridin. We still have dominance, though, which is good. We'll go with our Aridin next. And now we'll get dominance, I mean. Aridin will put here. Now we have dominance. We're up by almost 20, so I think we're good here. Winter Queen still gives him 10, which is scary. We can't really... Well, we can play Imlerith. It just has a decent chance of not being awesome. Now is our turn for the Imlerith's Wrath or pass. If we pass, he gets 6 on the Winter Queen. I think we go with Imlerith's Wrath here. The scariest card's probably Foglet, so let's remove that. And that should be this round, right? We're going to pass next turn. But we should win here, the round at least. Okay. Now, we still have our Imlerith, which is a big play. He has 2 Foglets, though. He has a Foglet still, which is the scary engine card here. So the question is, do we open Ardgaith? We put it back. Before we decide, I want to look at what he's got here. So, he's down Winter Queen, Aridin, Nithral, Toad Prince, Naglfar. We're down Aridin, Gels, Winter Queen, Imlerith's Wrath, Phantom. We don't have any Foglets. We don't have any Foglets. The long round's kind of iffy-ish. I think we put back our Ardgaith. I would put back this guy for sure. We definitely put that back. We do have Imlerith discard Golyat. That's really good. And then we've got Naglfar for either of these that we need. Let's do this. Discard Golyat. If he's playing Ozril, we gave him a pretty big target. But this is a nice play for us, and he can't really keep up easily. And then we can go with the Ardgaith. If he kept Ardgaith and we start pushing, we'll see what he does. Depends if he has Foglet or not. Okay, there's just going to be 2 Frost in each turn, each row. And we don't have movement. We could create movement here, but it's not guaranteed. But I think we go with the Ardgaith anyway. His Ardgaith won't do anything this turn because we already have Frost on both runs, but he's going to have to play it. Both rows, I mean. Let's see what he has here. If he's holding Ardgaith, now it's his turn to play it. He's going to have to. Conqueror. Okay, he's got no Frost. I think we do go for this Naglfar here. We'll put Spear Chip on top of our deck for round 3. Right now, we'll just go with this guy. And Bruiser is a really good card to pick up here. Denies him the order, puts stuff in both rows. And again, if he's holding on to Ardgaith, he just lost the game. And we'll see about it. There's his Conqueror. Not too surprising. This is Conqueror, right? The second one. Invader. Oberon Invader. And it's a Spear Tip. Alright, so in the end, he does survive the round. But his Ardgaith is really bad now, and we still have our old Spear Tip. The question is if he's running Osril or not, is where it gets iffy. These cards aren't bad. Would anything in our deck be better? Not really. Potentially, but not really. So I think we keep this hand. We're going to have to see what he has. This is just how many points we've got. Question is, do we try and deny him dominance? What are the scary dominance cards left? We don't want him to get any warrior value, so I think we do just open with the old Spear Tip, just in case he has dominance. It gives up our last day, but he's not going to be playing any of the big neutral removals. Exactly, we denied this. That's a really big deal. And then we go with, you know, Conqueror. And I don't think his last... Even if this is Osril, it's not going to be enough. The Osril's just... Yeah. GG. Alright, let's look at this hand here. Let's put back the... None of these, I guess. Well, we do want to redraw. Definitely putting that back. So it's Enslave 5. Sean Calvi, naturally.
I forgive you. This time. We've caught another task.
Alright, we'll go for this. Try and get our dominance so we can get some value here in player cards. He'll try to not deny it. One of these days. While we're waiting here, if you guys made this far, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Really helps out. Lets me know you guys are appreciating the content. And if you want to see anything else, comment below. I think we'll be doing a Elf Swarm deck next. Okay, that's interesting. He's committing pretty hard here. That does block a lot of frost damage. Oh, let's see here. Do we want to go Ardgaith this early? I think so. It's a Winter Queen. There's no way the Winter Queen goes off here.
Truth is a shard of ice.
But whatever you're trying to protect, we have bruisers and such, so I'm not too concerned. Okay, so that's what it's going to be. The spying deck. Interesting. Don't have dominance yet. We could Imlerith discard this Conqueror. Pretty big fan of that. Gets us the dominance. Thins our deck. Okay, did kill that. It's fine. I think we go Bruiser here to remove the defender from the row with this guy. Do that. That's pretty easy to kill now. We know Winter Queen is going to die, which is annoying, but not much we can do. Okay, he's going to take our Imlerith. Interesting choice. We do have dominance now, finally, so I think we'll go with this guy. Pretty good value. Then next turn we have Red Riders. Oh, that's a really good Red Riders target now. Oh, is he going to seize? Gonna seize Winter Queen. It's not bad, though. We can go Red Riders. And we'll Frost the Ranged Hero, I think. Then we'll play the Warrior again. He'll get a little bit of a heal. Do 2 damage here. And Frost this with Dominance. And we do have our Riders play coming up, which we're definitely going to do. He's lost a lot of value this round for sure. And we've only been playing bronzes in our Artigaith. And since he's not playing a Simulate, we don't have to worry a ton about Winter Queen. So we just go for the Rider next. I'll play for 9. He takes 2 damage. He's going to have to play a fairly high value card here. Or high tempo card, I mean. Okay, there is the rinse.
Time for a rematch.
That's a strange play. I'm not going to lie. But we'll go with this here. We still have dominance. I'm very confused by the rinse play. He will get something to... I understand why he did it. He's going to get a really big boost here. It just seems risky. And, he might be playing Hyper Thin. Oh, that's a good card for him. I think he might take the round with that. No, not quite yet. 14 points is a lot. Golyat does not get us there. Spear Tip does not. Although we have leader charges, if we get either of those, we could try for it. Aridin is really good here. I think we want a Naglfar. There's Aridin. That's the card we're looking for. Now, we don't have dominance. We could move. I think we do. By the way, you like how we just wasted a point by playing Aridin in the wrong row? It's really good, right? We do give him Sabbath here. But it basically gets canceled out by the having the Frost actually hit this row. Oh, we didn't give him Sabbath, right? No, he doesn't quite have it. Ooh, he should have played that melee. Would have gotten a Sabbath. And everything in this row is a 2, so there's a chance this actually just dies. Let's just play this guy. He wasted a couple points there, and we wasted a point here. I'm honestly just confused by what happened in the last game, which I guess our recording software failed on. I'm kind of distracted by that right now, actually. Our recording software looks like it failed. So I might have to record this whole video. A little distracting. Sorry about that. Let's see what we got here. Win on Even's really good. No leader ability. If we're going to push, Artigaith's not really amazing. Then we have Golyat. It's pretty good, though. I think I'd rather have Spear Tip. I think we do want the Ancient Golyat here. We'll just keep this. If he has damage, he could kill this because he probably has a Hefty Helga in here. Hefty Helga is an annoying card to deal with. So I think we'll just open with the Artigaith. And then when we play our Golyat, it'll deploy up to 8. That's a little bit less value, but if we play this, it's just going to die, and the leader charge doesn't have movement value. He's probably going to block this with Hefty Helga's shield. He also is playing a lot of tactics, so we might not have a target for something if we just do this. Okay. We go with the Ancient Golyat. Comes down as an 8. Now he can't assassinate or anything. I do think he has a Hefty Helga, but he might not play it now. Otherwise, I'm convinced by the one, or confused by the one Fire Scorpion.
You have no chance. Do you not see that?
Interesting, but not unsurprising. Let's play the Golyat again. At 6, it's vulnerable to assassination, which we've already seen how many of? 1? So it's vulnerable to assassination here. But if we use this, we potentially have an issue with our frosts, so we'll just play it. I kind of expect this to get assassinated. There's a bribery. Old spear tip, naturally. I mean, what else would he get? Do we want to use our last leader charge is the question. We can use it with Golyat. We're not going to get much value here. But look at these cards we got out of him. I think this is worth it. We can just pass. We bled out the Lydia, we bled out the Old Spear Tip, and we bled out Ardal. All we played was Ardgaith, really, which has Echo, so we didn't really play anything of consequence. Really good short bleed there. The only card we're missing to make this hand amazing is Imlerith, but we already played him. Spear Tip's really a card we want to draw here. No Spear Tip. It's unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Really would have liked to have him. He does know we're playing it, though. So this is going to be Golyat last play here, so we can't interact with it. Probably is a Hefty Helga, right? I think what else you'd have. There's the Hefty Helga. Now, it's not going to be easy to kill that, honestly. What I think we'll do is we'll White Frost this. Then we'll go for our warrior. And that interaction is not quite what I thought, but it makes sense. So the 2 damage hits the shield. We check for dominance. We didn't get the 1 boost here yet, so then he kills it.
My prescription, a bit of bloodletting.
You might say the Hefty Helga charge now. No, he's not going to use it. Okay, so Hefty Helga could die. Could also go for the Foglet here. I think we go Alberon. We want this warrior because we definitely want to kill off his guy. We definitely want to kill this. Foglet's not going to be very good here, unfortunately. It's not too bad. And this is our Foglet turn. Potentially we can convince him Foglet is dangerous and have him remove it. He does remove it. Well, I guess we're going to play Golyat here, and then last play Imlerith's Wrath. But I don't think he has a... The only way he wins if this is Geralt. This is a Geralt and it kills Golyat, he has a chance. Just a treason. And we'll just pass, because that's a GG. Let's take a look and see if that was our last game or not, depending on if our recording software failed or not. See how many games it actually kept. GG, though. Alright, guys, that'll be it for this one. I checked. Our recording software recorded most of the games. We lost 2 games. However, there were 2 more Wild Hunt Frost mirror matches, so I'm sure that's not a great loss. Does mean this video will be a little bit shorter than otherwise, but do need to record the other deck videos and such, so we can't keep playing games all day trying to get non-Frost decks. But let's take a look at the card deck in detail and see what we have. So, I like Advantage. Crystal Skull I think is fine if you're doing Hound. Otherwise, I think you want Tactical Advantage. It gives you the extra point. You don't really need the Veil. Alberon King, his buff here to play from your starting deck's pretty big. It means you want to consolidate your bronzes quite a bit. So you don't want to be rolling like 1 of bronzes anymore, I don't think. It makes him a little bit weaker. So I think you want to have 2 of your bronzes. Otherwise, you might want to consider removing them for something else. Old Spear Tip helps you get dominance, really big. I really wanted to play a Sleep in the deck, but I couldn't find a way to make it work out great. So just keep that in mind. You could do that as well. Eridan, fantastic. The +1 buff means he plays at an 8 and immediately does 2 damage. Possibly 3, probably 3 if you have dominance. So 11-point play, and his engine values, it's not amazing because it's just 1 to each frost. But if the frost is doing that damage every turn, it is a big deal. It adds up pretty quickly. The Naglfar is tutor our deck. Pretty simple. Imlerith, I like Imlerith. It thins your deck by another card. It gives you a big play potentially, and it gives you the destroy option on Imlerith's Wrath. The destroy option on Imlerith's Wrath is quite valuable in a mirror match, which is mostly why I was running these guys, considering the mirror match here, because the other options are really Toad Prince and Nithral are cards you could run. And the Nithral in the mirror match is terrible, because every single, like, there's leader charges that move, they have bruisers that move, they can replay the bruisers twice with red riders to move. They could use Oberon Conqueror to create another one and move it. There's no way your Nithral is getting value in the mirror match. So as long as Frost is popular, I would not run Nithral. I think it's just too bad in the mirror match, which is apparently all we got today. We had 5 mirror matches. I think it was 5. It might have been 6. So that's why we're going Imlerith instead. Imlerith's Wrath for removal, like I said. Ardgaith, obviously Winter Queen. The Winter Queen is interesting because it means you might want to hold off on playing your Frosts until you can guarantee she doesn't die. But that's really risky. So I think the best thing for her here is that if you don't play her out round 1, you have the option, for example, of going Ardgaith as your finisher. If you go Ardgaith finisher round 2, like you bleed them round 2, don't play your Winter Queen, and then you play Ardgaith as your finisher round 3 after the opponent passes, if they're bleeding you, for example. If you're getting bled, it's probably not going to work out as well. But it's very situational that your last play will be Ardgaith, and then your opponent already passed. And it's your last card, but it's worth mentioning that that would play for a, 6 times 2 is 12 plus 4 is 16. You could save the Winter Queen for after your opponent passes for stuff like that, which is interesting. Her change is certainly a pretty big buff. Just know she's never going to live to actually use her ability. So, in concept, it's really good, but she's never going to live to do it. She's a 4 power card. Gel's the same. Golyat you could swap out, like I said, for Toad Prince Nithral. You could make some adjustments like that. Both are pretty good options. You could also put in the Ozrel. It's pretty decent if the opponent is running the tall cards. If you're running your own Old Spirit Tip Asleep, I'd recommend it, putting in the Ozrel so you can consume it. It's a really big consume, and if you wait too long, all the other people might have a consume card. So I think if you're running Old Spirit Tip Asleep, you do the Ozrel. Otherwise, you could go Nithral or the Toad Prince. Just watch out for Nithral. Mirror Match, really dangerous card to have because it's going to get very little value. Phantom. Oh, you can also run Pugo Broombreaker instead of Golyat, by the way. It's an extra point until you come to play it, and then it's 2 less. If you're always discarding with Imlerith, it's not as big a deal. If you are ending up playing Golyat, you might want the Golyat instead. Just watch out for the Death Wish. Ancient Foglets are still amazing. And then the bronzes here are pretty... Red Rider's buff is nice. It's definitely a buff. It's quite handy. If stuff gets damaged, especially in the mirror match, like something like a Bruiser takes like 2 turns of frost damage, it's down to like a 2, because it has the 1 armor to block a damage. You can replay it, and that's plus 3 points from getting its health back. It gives you the 2 frost, that's worth 4. And then, yeah, it's just really good. It's really good value. And the Riders, you do want the thinning. I didn't quite get the Oberon King to play the Wild Hunt Riders, but there's an option where if you only have those 3 bronzes in your deck, you can always have that for round 3. That's not a great way to play the game, I don't think, but it would be pretty funny. The 2 crews, Conquerors, and Warriors. Now, the one we did not include, which we're going to take a quick look at after this video, is the Navigator. So boost allied by duration of frost on the opposite row, and dominance boost by total frost. So we're going to take a look at that. That was really weird, that one game. Oh, that was one of the ones we didn't record. That's unfortunate. And one of the games we didn't record, our opponent went for this, and it seemed like it just didn't work. Like, he didn't get any points. So we're going to have to take a look at that. But that'll be it for this one, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed, and make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.